Well, this is an infuriating update on a story we brought you last week. The Denver sheriff is ordering an investigation into why his department released an illegal immigrant charged in a deadly DUI before ICE could detain him. Ivan Zamaripa Castaneda was charged with drunk driving and causing a fiery crash that killed a truck driver and shut down I-70 for hours on March 3rd. The Mexican national fled the scene but was arrested the next day. Well, Immigration's Customs Enforcement placed a detainer on him a week ago. The sheriff's department didn't notify ICE of the suspect's release until an hour after he posted bond, and then he left. Here to discuss these developments is Democratic strategist and former DNC Deputy Press Secretary Jose Aristimuño. Jose, it's great to see you. This is a wild case. I just learned about this, Jose. I was driving this morning, believe it or not, with my kids on I-70 to the Denver airport for about an hour and a half. And this crossed my, my cell phone, went off. And I was thinking, oh my, first of all, the road is dangerous. I wasn't driving. The road is dangerous. And this guy caused this fiery crash. He's released, and they didn't notify ICE until an hour after his release. Now, I know you're an advocate for illegal immigrants and the immigration process, but this ain't good for your case, I can tell you that.
Well, look, I'm not an advocate for undocumented immigrants who commit serious crimes. Any undocumented immigrant, and let me be clear, Laura, that have committed serious felonies, including this one, should be deported. Now, what I advocate for is this. We have to be very careful with this sort of cases because we don't want to generalize and allow people to think that a majority of immigrants are this sort of criminals, because it's not true. And you know it very well. Every year, the FBI releases reports that say under 10% of undocumented immigrants in this country are actually criminals. Should the sheriff department from Denver look into this? Absolutely, they should look into this. I don't know if there was a miscommunication or what have you, but of course it should be looked into.
Yeah.
We agree. Democrats and Republicans agree.
Yeah. Well, Jose, we have, sanctuary jurisdictions, which a good friend of mine the other day said we should call them fugitive jurisdictions because they're places where fugitives should go and live because they have a good life, because they'll be able to be released back into the community, even if they're arrested for criminal activity, because people like Kamala Harris, and I want to play this soundbite for you, from California, Senator from California, basically thinks the Immigration's Customs Enforcement should really no longer exist. Let's watch.
Should ICE exist? Well, certainly, I'm a prosecutor.
Yep.
I believe that there needs to be serious, severe, and swift consequence when people commit serious and violent crimes. One human being kills another human being, a woman is raped, a child is molested, there needs to be serious consequence. And certainly, if they are undocumented, they should be deported if they commit those serious and violent offenses. So yes, ICE has a purpose, ICE has a role, ICE should exist.
Yeah, just to be clear, she was actually got killed in commentary afterward because she, as a senator from California, said ICE should exist. Now, that's how left the Democrat Party has gotten. If someone like Kamala Harris says, of course you need enforcement. You need people who can go into communities and remove the dangerous elements. But it's really hard to do that, Jose, when we have an Oakland mayor who is thwarting federal immigration officials by announcing to immigrants, oh, guess what, they're coming.
Well, you know what? If we actually had a president who had the leadership to pass comprehensive immigration reform, Laura, we wouldn't be in this whole debate about sanctuary cities, because you know this very well. A majority of immigrants in this country are law-abiding citizens. They contribute to our economy. They create
Jose,
jobs every single year.
That argument, if you say 10%, I think you said 10% of illegal immigrants commit crimes.
Under 10%.
Right. Okay, under 10%. Well,
under 10%.
Is that okay? I mean, if there are 12 million people here illegally, 10% of that is a lot of people. I mean, we don't need any more criminals in the United States.
Let me tell you.
We have plenty of criminals.
I agree with you.
It's illegal immigration for a reason. It's not legal. We're for legal. If you want to improve legal, great.
Laura, you and I agree on that, but let me be clear, though. If we legalize a majority of the undocumented population in this country, wouldn't it be a whole lot easier to actually look for the ones that commit violent crimes? It would be a whole lot easier, because we're not looking in an ocean of 14 million or what have you undocumented immigrants. Let's put them on the back of the line. Let's ensure that they assimilate into our country, that they learn English, that they pay back taxes. But we got to do something, because what they have right now is amnesty.
Yeah, well, Jose, why do you think we have so many court appointed interpreters in courts today, in state courts, traffic courts. Sadly, I've been in traffic court a few times. And you have state-appointed interpreters for people who've been in the country for 10, 12, 15 years. You talk to any cop who has to appear in court regularly in Northern Virginia, they're like, oh, yeah, we got like 15 different interpreters. They're having to speak various languages, not just Spanish, by the way. So the idea that everyone's coming here and everyone's assimilating, it's just not true. People are coming here speaking their own languages because they can. And I don't think that helps assimilation at all.
Look, we should put in system a place that helps them assimilate, want to assimilate better, make it easier for them, create a system to make that happen. And it's that simple. But all those sort of things that you want to address, Laura, guess what? President Trump can do it if he puts together an actual comprehensive immigration reform plan.
Jose, 1.8 million Dreamers would have gotten amnesty. The Democrats did not want to give him that campaign issue. Almost
That's not true, Laura. That's not true.
2 million almost.
He took away DACA.
It's amazing.
He took away DACA. He took away DACA.
Okay.
He's the one that took it away.
Right.
We wouldn't be actually debating.
He would actually give them legal
if he didn't take it away.
Better than DACA. So you think that deal was a bad deal, 1.8 million, up from 800,000. That would have gotten amnesty under President Trump.
Horrible
You would
deal.
not have taken that deal.
It was a horrible deal.
Okay. That doesn't work for the American people.
He held the Dreamers hostage.
Yeah.
He held the Dreamers hostage to try to, to try to finish his obsession with a wall that we know that actually won't help America.
Okay, so you don't want a wall, and 1.8 million was no good. Okay,
we already have a wall. We already have a wall with Mexico.
It's just not realistic. All right, it's Jose. It's always good to have you on. We love having you on, so thank you so much. And by the way, it looks like the president will try a new approach to end school violence. Dan Bongino and Geraldo Rivera debate it next.